I'd like to call the February 20th, 2024 meeting of the City Council for the City of Lake City to order. If everyone will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, remain standing for the invocation. Begin by Vice Mayor and Council Member Jake Field.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to see another day, Father, a day we have never seen before. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to guide us and lead us in the way that you would have us to go, Father. Now, Father, I ask that you just bless this council. May the decision we make is pleasing in your sight, Father. And now, Father, we ask a special blessing for our first responders, and again, a special blessing for one of our own, the Boozer family. We ask that you just keep them in your prayers, in our prayers. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Jernigan?
Present.
Mr. Hill?
Here.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Cannon?
Here.
Chief Butler?
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened a public meeting. Since 1968, the city code has prohibited any person from making personal and pertinent slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the city council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There's only one approved manner of addressing the city council, and that's to be recognized and speak from the podium. As a reminder, persons are not to openly carry a handgun or carry a concealed weapon or firearm while the governing body is meeting.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak?
Yes.
What would happen to an individual that comes in here with a weapon or firearm, yelling, screaming, being boisterous?
That would be removed.
That's including a city councilman and a citizen.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
No proclamation, no minutes. Approval of the agenda, item 3, we've received a letter that, the lady's not sure if she wants to go forward with it, so I would ask that to be omitted and let growth management talk to her and see, what she wants to do with it.
And also, Mayor, if I may, I would like to add 2 items to the agenda. One being discussion, citizen review board. And if I may add 2, as an emergency item, and add it to the new business, and that's Nye Black Elementary School funding. If I may, please.
So let me get over here. Okay, I guess we could do it after item 14, 15, review.
That's on the,
And item 16 is an elementary school funding.
yes, sir, can we put it up a little closer, if we may?
You want to do the elementary school funding under, other items, new business?
Okay,
Make it item 14, your new 14.
okay, we'll do it before new business and after item 9. So we'll do 14 and 15. Okay, with those modifications, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agenda is amended, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public comments, Ms. Goggins?
Good evening. My name is Betty Goggins, 721 Southeast Camp Street. I'd like to say good evening again to everyone. I'm just doing a wellness check today to see where we are with the pavement of Camp Street. I noticed that, it is a beautiful job done on Patterson Street. And now that that is completed, Camp Street was supposed to be the next street to be paved from the east to the west. And I just wanted to have an update of where we are with that project.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir. Camp Street, I think we put that in the SCOP grant. We are waiting to hear something back from the state. It usually takes about a year, to be honest with you, but hopefully we hear something back, but it has been applied for grant funding.
So we're not next after Patterson Street. That means that we'll have to wait a year.
Well, it'll be next fiscal year, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Warren.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Sylvester Warren, y'all got my hands tied a little bit. Y'all got me black in here, and that's man, my mom, you got the kids in here, so I really can't freestyle the way I typically freestyle. So, therefore, Mr. Mayor, I would like to be added on my public comment paper, the new item that was added, if possible, because that change was made prior to me turning in my comment form. And I don't care about other people watching, but I do love Me Black, and I do love kids, and so y'all get a pass tonight on certain stuff. You welcome.
Okay. That's all I had on public comment. We'll move on to approval of the consent agenda.
Now move to approve the consent agenda as published.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, no presentations. Item 3 is removed. So that would be 4, 5, 6, down. Okay, we're to item 7. City Council Ordinance 2024-2278 on final reading. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
Ordinance number 2024-2278, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the city code, add a new section number 86-110.22 to Article 3, Chapter 86, which provides for the permanent vacating of the right-of-way, finding that the right-of-way was abandoned by the city, finding that the closing of the right-of-way will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, finding that it is in the best interest of the city and for the general welfare of its citizens to close the right-of-way, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, providing for inclusion into the city code, and providing an effective date.
We're to have a public hearing on this since it's final reading. Anybody in the audience wish to speak for or against this ordinance? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Moving to adoption of the City Council Ordinance 2024-2278 on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-2278 final reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion by council? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, the next one, we're to open a public hearing on City Council Ordinance 2024-2279 on final reading. Kenny, would you read that by title?
Yes. Ordinance number 2024-2279, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending Article 1, Section 70-2 of the City Code relating to residency requirements, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Anybody in the audience want to speak to this ordinance? If not, then we'll close the public hearing, move into adoption of City Council Ordinance 2024-2279 on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-2278 on final reading.
Second.
79.
79, I'm sorry.
Okay. Motion and a second, any discussion by council? Ms. Ox, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Mayor Whit.
Yes. Okay, we're at item 9, and there are 2 people wish to speak to this, Mr. Moore.
Mr. Mayor, is there will y'all have discussion and would I be able to speak after y'all discussion, but I don't wanna pre-comment.
Okay. And Mr. Carter, same thing, or you want to speak now?
No, James Carter, 362 Southwest Tularosa. I just want to briefly mention on this item, obviously you guys, Mr. Mayor and Council, are about to take on the very important task of hiring a new city manager. The applicants have obviously been interested, there's quite a few of them. I just want to point out that at the moment, roughly 1,800 homes or so, or voting citizens are not represented on the council. So I would just ask that perhaps final decisions not be made until one-fourth of the districts are represented. So I've obviously been talking about it the last few weeks. I believe I'm still the only applicant for the position that's vacated by Mr. Sampson. So I think we're going to be addressing that next Monday.
Yes.
So hopefully it won't be long, but I would just ask that you not hire anybody while while the core of the city is not able to be represented. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, discussion of possible action, city council. Everybody got the applications and had them about a week. I've reviewed them. I don't think we're going to discuss any particular candidates unless we are ready to narrow it down. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to really get through and narrow those down to that. Before, and Ms. Sykes can correct me, I think what we did is we had every councilman pick their top 3, I believe, and we ranked them. And then we combined them all, and then we looked at that list of how they were, and then we decided who all we wanted to interview. Is that correct, Jay, what you call it?
Yeah.
Do y'all wanna wait till the first meeting in March to do that, or y'all wanna discuss that tonight? How do y'all want? I kinda agree with Mr. Carter, I'd like him to be.
Well, I would ask, I know I'm not ready. It's quite a bit. And I'm going through it diligently, and I'm just not at a space right now where I'm ready to choose.
Is everybody good with kinda having a list as their top 3 or 4?
Let's do the top 3.
Top 3, I agree with that. Okay, so at the first meeting in March, we'll have our top 3, and then we'll discuss how we do. I'd like to do like we did before, anybody that's local or close to local, we could interview in person. Anybody that's at any distance, we could do it by Zoom, and that's what we did last time. Then narrow it down again.
I don't know that I agree with that. If someone is interested in the position, I think it's worthy of to come and sit before us for an interview.
Well,
That's my thought.
okay, well, we can discuss it at that time, and we'll decide which way to go.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Uh-huh.
I just want to point out a couple things. I'm definitely, I looked over this list very diligently. And I just want to point out to City Manager Johnson and our HR Director, they have did an excellent job in picking this top 6 candidates. And I just want to make it, put it on record that there was no instructions or direction by Councilman Jernigan. Miss Bible, Billy Joe Bible, I think she's more than capable of doing what she's done. And I would definitely like for her to come up and maybe even tell us about, a little bit about how she come up with the list of candidates, the top 6. But again, I just want to give kudos to Mr. Johnson and Ms. Bible as to what they have accomplished, because this is a lot of work. And I just want to make sure I give kudos to our acting city manager and our HR director.
You want her to come up and speak?
Yes, that way, it won't be no confusion, because obviously there's some confusion out there, and she could, if anybody got any questions, she could always answer those questions.
You got the idea of what he wants you to discuss?
Yes, sir, it sounds like you just want me to go over the process on how this
Yeah.
was selected.
Yes,
There was no scoring system per se, so we used the charter. I used the charter and the job description based on that. So the charter says very clearly that they must have a bachelor's degree from an accredited four-year college or university and have either 10 years of progressively responsible experience in municipal or corporate management in a senior management position or any equivalent combination of training and experience. And then the job description is more detailed. I'm not gonna go through the whole job description unless you'd like me to, but I did give you all copies of the charter and the job description, plus all 22 applications. Now, we did have 2 that withdrew, and the first thing I did was go through, and anybody that did not complete an employment application, I didn't include them in the top 6, because everywhere that it was advertised said that they needed to complete an employment application with the city, and that they also needed to include a resume. They could attach extra documents if they wanted to. So if they did not follow all the instructions, doesn't mean they're not qualified, they just didn't follow the instructions. And it was open for 60 days, so they had plenty of time. When an individual had emailed in a resume and a cover letter or such, immediately emailed them back and sent them the link to the website to say the city council is requesting that you submit an employment application as part of the requirement. Some of them went right in there and did that, some of them did not. That was as much of our follow-up as we did on that. But after it was advertised for the 60 days, we started going through the actual applications. I did Google searches on every applicant that came in just to see if anything came up on them. You can see there's a few in there that had some attachments. I included those for you to see full disclosure on everything that I found. We I went through, and after they were all through, we looked at the deadline. We didn't accept anything after the deadline. We had a couple people that called. Like I said, it was open for 60 days. I printed what they sent, but it's there. But I put the emails with there that said when they came in and the dates. And then began reviewing the applications, and then I did send, and you probably saw this online, I did send a courtesy email. The email was addressed to each individual, but the letter itself was just to dear applicant. And I'm just gonna justify why I did that. I sent that letter because I know for myself, if I had applied and I saw this list that went out all over the public showing the top 6, I wanted to let all of the applicants know that it doesn't mean you're disqualified. It just means that they were ranked in who had the best qualifications out of every applicant. Some of those that were disqualified may not have been eligible for rehire. They were clearly marked in our system and through their personnel file. They worked here before, but they weren't eligible for rehire. So I didn't put them in the top 6 as well. And that's basically how we came to it. We looked at degree level. We looked at if they had any municipal or government experience. These top 6 clearly did. Like I said, it didn't mean the rest of them didn't meet, because there could have been a combination of education and experience that went along with that. But that is you all's decision, not mine. So that's where I'm leaving that up to you.
I'm excited about, we had 22 applicants. That shows me that there's a lot of people interested in coming into to this little town called Lake City, Florida. So I'm excited about the procedure that you went through. I'm excited about picking, help selecting a qualified applicant according to the charter. So I'm excited about that. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate that. Mr. Johnson, you heard that from me. I appreciate that, okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
I'm here to serve. Any other questions?
We're good.
May I ask her a question? Just one, I just wanted you to clarify, because I've had several people ask this question. I think some people were confused with the method in which, they were listed, alphabetical.
They're alphabetical,
Yes, thank you.
yes.
I just wanted you to confirm that on the
I
record.
didn't rate them, I
Yeah,
didn't
know.
prioritize, they're all alphabetical.
I did get some questions about it.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Warren?
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know, Lord knows I don't understand these skits that we just put on. This is nowhere on the agenda. I don't know if I were to have tried that, somebody would have point or ordered me. Like, what was this? This could have been easily done with a phone call and saying thank you and kudos. And how are you saying kudos to a guy you're getting ready to ask? Like, you don't tell a guy you're getting ready to ask kudos. He did a good job of helping pick out some candidates in a process that's gonna take food out of his mouth and take his job away from him. That's disrespectful. That is not a kudos moment. And if you got a level of chairmanship in you, that is when you point of order a council member, because that belittles and berates and is insulting to the sitting interim manager. That should have never been tolerated, Mr. Mayor, if it was a good chair. That was way out of line, and that was overcalled for. What just happened? There was no need to explain that process. As a matter of fact, Mr. Mayor, due to the fact that there's no one sitting in that chair, a real chair and a real council member will call for a motion to table the whole discussion of anything. Y'all have even went as far as to ignore 1,800 voters and say y'all have already come up with a process that y'all gonna talk about in March. And there's nobody sitting here to represent them. That is insane. That is not how government is supposed to work. That is not what the people voted on. And that is not how you're supposed to represent. And Mayor, you are an attorney and a CPA. And you have a heart and you're supposed to have emotions. And all of this is supposed to make sense to you. If it don't make sense to nobody else up here, you are tenured and you've been here the longest. And we expect more out of you as long as you are the mayor until that time expires. This ain't right. I think an apology is owed to Mr. Johnson for that. That is wrong. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, next item is, Ms. Young's, police review board. Ms. Young?
Thank you, Mayor. Concerning the police review board, I thought it necessary to at least discuss this. We've had several emails asking that it be put on the agenda. And I know it has come up in short discussion or comment about the police review board. And I recall Attorney Kennan saying that it's or the mayor mentioning that it's something being carried on concerning this in the legislature. Now, what I would like to do is I have spoken with Attorney Clay, and I've asked him, I think I got more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was not correct.
And I've asked Attorney Clay to do some research other than my research with the little knowledge that I have, that he will do some research and let me know where this is in legislation and what does he foresee as far as the council and this citizen review board. So he's here, Mayor, and if it's okay, I would like for him to come to the podium and give us an overview of what's going on as far as this citizen review board, so that this council will know that, first of all, we can't just ignore it. We have to discuss it and come to some kind of resolution or come to whatever we decide, but we can't just ignore it. So he's here, and I would ask if he will come up.
Thank you, Councilwoman Young, Mr. Mayor, Councilman. Councilwoman Young did reach out to me last week and asked what the status of any legislation was in the legislature that would affect the city's ability to move forward with a citizen review board for the city of Lake City. I took a look there are 2 pending bills in the legislature right now.
They're not companion bills necessarily. There is House Bill 601 that's filed in the House. There is also, committee substitute for Senate Bill 576 on the Senate side. They're not companion bills. They don't match. Both of them are moving forward, it appears right now, to second reading, meaning that they've reached what would be essentially the third major step in the legislative process. They've been through the committee process. They passed through the committees favorably. They would now be moving to the House and Senate calendars respectively. It appears, as best I can tell, that the House bill may be on the House calendar for second reading tomorrow. The Senate bill right now is scheduled for second reading, but it does not have a date yet on the calendar. It appears the Senate is going to be in full session on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, so it's possible that it could get its second reading on the Senate side. Of course, each bill would require a third reading in the legislature to be able to move forward. And at that point, because they don't match, one or the other would have to go to the other chamber to be read and passed on a floor vote in the other chamber. And then, assuming that happened, one or other of the bills would then move on to the governor's office. Now, the two bills, I've talked about them. What do? Essentially, they would preempt the city's ability through the city council to initiate a citizen review board. Both of them have effective dates right now of July 1st. And so the House bill is much more plain in its language. It just says that it's preempted to the state, the review of law enforcement activity, and a city council could not initiate a review board to do that. The preemption in the House bill is straightforward. It would not even grandfather in any pre-existing boards. There have been amendments proposed to the House bill that would allow pre-existing boards to be grandfathered in. However, just being very candid, those amendments are being offered by members of the minority party in the House. So I would not anticipate that those amendments would get a favorable hearing. So my guess is that as that bill moves forward, it's going to move forward in its current state, which would just be a flat out preemption with no grandfather clause. On the Senate side, it's a more developed bill, I guess. That bill also would preempt these matters to the state, except that it requires or would allow for an exception for a chief of police or a sheriff to initiate a citizen review board if they chose to do it. But it would be within the purview of the sheriff or a chief of police to initiate that. A governing body of a local government, meaning either a county commission or a city council, could not initiate that. There's not a grandfather clause in that either, so anything that any governing body would do between now and July 1st would not be grandfathered in. There are a couple of weeks left in the session for these to proceed through and receive the required votes and move to the governor's desk. If one of them does not get through the legislative process into the governor's desk, then the issue's dead for a year, and this council could move forward with a review board if it chose to do so. And that'll be pretty, at least on a stage one level, be pretty evident in the next couple of weeks if it doesn't get through the legislative process. If it does, and one of them lands on the governor's desk, I think I've read in a couple of places that the governor has actually given these favorable comments. So my best guess would be that it would be signed into law, but that's just a guess. So if it goes through the process, then there could be an additional waiting period to see if it's signed into law or not. But my guess is that it would be. If it doesn't get through the process, then the council could, if it chose to, move forward with a review board. It would be within the council's purview to do that if it wanted to. So that's kind of the lay of the land as of about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
So in a couple of weeks, we're gonna know something.
In a couple of weeks, you'll at least know whether it made it through the process or not. And again, my guess is if it gets through the legislative process, the governor's probably gonna sign it. But if it doesn't get through the process, then you'll know that too, and you have the, you know, all of the options that you've, you know, previously had open to you.
Okay. Ms. Young?
That's what I wanted, so it sounds like it's in our best interest to just hold off on Citizen Review Board, at least until after the 2 weeks, to see, which way it's gonna go, what side is gonna be the favorable on, or if we go through the process, and if I remember correctly, we went through the steps of the process, and by the time we complete the process, we'll be very close to July 1st. Which would be really a waste of effort and time, in doing so.
I won't comment on whether it's a waste of time. I would say that the time would be short for that body to be able to act before the new law would go into place in its current existence on July 1.
Yeah, and maybe I use not have used that term, but it's the same thing. We get to a point where we've gone through all of that, and then you gotta do away with it, in other words.
Right.
Because it's, okay,
And
thank you for that.
I don't get the luxury of being able to make those judgment calls
Yes,
as the
sir.
lawyer, so
Yes, sir.
it's perfectly fine if the council
Yes,
wants
sir.
to. But
Thank you.
anyway, all right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, appreciate it.
Mr. Warren, did you want to comment?
Yes, I want to recognize, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I appreciate another skit, Dog and Pony Show. Let's just be honest. I think this council passed this concept years ago. And this same council, as people like myself, Vanessa George has been beaten on in the streets by officers and assaulted. This council sat back and did nothing. And so you all have allowed the time to expire. And this is nothing but a dog and pony show, as to say, oh, our hands are tied now, but your hands were not always tied. And the community will never forget that. There was an opportunity and a moment to seize that this council did not seize into a way of having a body to protect the citizens from the police. Now they got the upper hand. And from all my contacts close to the governor, he's gonna sign it, which is fine with me. We've had that conversation. So I'm fine with the governor signing. I'm just disappointed with the fact that you all, this council, let this happen when they act like they were all pro Citizen Review Board. So the community is not blind, nor is the community deaf. The community may not always be bold and speak out like me, but they do hear the things that I say, and they do silently, majority, agree with it. It should have been a Citizen Review Board years ago. Today, coming up here and sticking it out here and letting the lawyer come up here and do a skit and saying your hands are tied, your hands may be tied today, but your hands were not tied years ago when you all agreed to do it. And the question will always remain, why did you not keep your word years ago? That would be the question as it relates to the citizens who face different challenges as we move forward with this new legislation. This is something that you all have done to your own people and your own citizenship. So I just wanna make sure that I go on the record, all right? So that I have the facts, I have the receipts. And so when I say it and people challenge me, I can always go back to YouTube, pull it and say, hey, remember this date when they voted? I ain't lying. And see, remember when they did this skit right here? This is the timeline. So I love that these things are live streamed this way, Mayor. So that way we have good documentation of how the community was misled, misrepresented, and basically just messed over, for lack of a better word, because of the young ones. Thank you.
I have to ask a question, because I asked this question, was this voted on prior to this council? Now, I was told no. Was it voted on?
We discussed it. There was a couple of proposals. Mr. Sampson had one, Chief Gilmore had one. I didn't vote for Mr. Sampson. I think I voted with Chief Gilmore's, and I'm not exactly sure what they actually voted to do, but I didn't vote with that proposal. He had a dual proposal of some kind. It was two different things. Ms. Young, do you want to go into the elementary schools?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you so much. Now, this addition, concerning Knobloch Elementary School. Knobloch Elementary School, as most of us know, will be demolished in the very near future. And, I ask that this be added to the agenda because I'm gonna try to make it short as I possibly can. I actually came across a flyer where Knobloch, and I don't know who sent the flyer out, are asking for assistance with, the moving. They're moving from Knobloch Elementary to Melrose Elementary School. And of course, we know this is a full school move. This is a big move. And it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of hands. It's gonna take a lot of pockets. It costs a lot to move. And not only with the move, but the preparation. This faculty and staff are trying to strategize and plan a full school move to a different school. So I do consider this urgent. And when you're trying to strategize, when you're trying to plan a move without the resources that you need, it looks like your back is against the wall. And here we have, and I asked the principal to come. When I saw the flyer, I felt the need to help our school, which is in our city, Knobloch Elementary. And let me say this, I was leaded to this before. This move is gonna take people, volunteers, they're asking for volunteers to help to pack and to make this move happen. And I saw on the flyer where they're calling in food trucks to feed these volunteers. Because it's gonna take quite a bit of time, which they don't have a lot of time. It's like crunching everything in a day or two. So to feed these volunteers, volunteer movers, they're asking food trucks to come. Well, these food trucks are not asked to feed free. These food trucks has to be paid. So, like they say, to make a long story short, for this part, I'm asking that City Council, I'm asking that we donate to Knobloch Elementary, $5,000 for this portion of the move. And, I believe we can pull that from public assistance, the $5,000. Now, let me get to the second part. In preparing for this move, there's a lot that has to go on, even as much as preparing our students for what could seem as a disaster, another tragedy. We can look at it, our minds, our mature minds can look at, oh, we're gonna get a new school. But their little minds are not at that level yet. So there are programs which has to be set up, preparing them for this, programs, events, and possibly even counseling. Just think, some of the children, and this is the age that really we never really touch. These are the foundation. This is like the foundation age, and we really don't pay attention in our building. We kind of overlook the foundation, and sometimes the foundation gets damaged, right? So we have these little kids, little children, and let me remind you, these children are bused from this, the west side. They're bused from Long Street. They're bused from this area where we've had these tragedies that happen. So they haven't even gotten over that. And then they have to be faced with this big move, which they're leaving their friends, their school friends, they're leaving their, and when I say leaving, moving from one house to a different house, that's leaving. That's separating from their school family. So there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of resources needed, and I've asked the principal to come, and Principal Murphy, and also we have our past principal, Ivory, right? Who will come up and give us to just let us know what you're facing and give us some of the events that will take place, and it costs money. And after they come, after they come, this, I had this added, Mayor, please. And after they come and give us just a brief, view of what they're expecting and what some of their needs are. And then I'll ask what I wanna ask after that. Principals.
Good evening. Thank you, Councilwoman Young, Mayor, council members. Thank you so much. I'm Makiba Murphy, the current principal of Neblack Elementary. And
I'm Nikita Ivory, former principal of Neblack.
right, still a huge supporter of Neblack, and I appreciate her so much. So some of the things that we are looking at, assistance with the transition. We do have a final walkthrough of the building scheduled for June the 2nd. 2024 at 2 p.m. But some of the things that we want to do is a 5th grade graduation. This is the final class that will be coming through this particular building. So we do want to make this an awesome event for our 5th graders. An end of the year celebration also for our school. We are, in order to get that help from the volunteers, we're calling it a packing party on May 30th and 31st. And as Councilwoman Young alluded to, we would like to feed those volunteers, and it's going to take quite a bit to help us move to Melrose Elementary. Some of the things will go to Melrose, some will go to, our summer programs will have to go to 5 Points, and some items will have to go to a warehouse. So a lot of moving parts, but at the same time, we still have to, right now, we have to continue to teach our children. So right now, we're thinking about, we need to teach, but we need to pack, and we in a very short amount of time. But teaching is the main priority. We are planning a Neblack Elementary and Melrose Elementary Student Fellowship, where the students can come to get to know each other with games and a school tour, that sort of thing. Presenting them with a t-shirt that they can wear next year for Melrose Elementary, and a team building day for the faculty and staff. We have the adults that will be impacted as well. You have 2 school cultures coming together. So just a lot that's gonna go into making that change, and then a year later packing back up and moving back into the new facility.
Now, does the school board, they don't take care of this?
Well, there is some assistance with the move. We are just the resources are limited. Again, we have post-planning ends May 30th. We need to be out by May 31st. We need to be packed up on May 31st. That's why we need the hands, we need the help of the community in order to make this happen, so that the school can be built within the year and we enter that new school within the year.
Well, again, I'm all in for assisting Neblack. I got a grandson to go out. So my vote's yes for whatever we do.
Mayor, if I may. You said that the school board and the district is gonna help, but you still need more help. Is that what you're telling me?
That's correct.
So did you go to the county commissioners meeting, maybe talk about it, or did you go to?
No, sir.
Okay. So we're, most of us that's from Lake City, we all attended Neblack Elementary School. So when it comes to that assistance, I'm all in as far as helping as well. So let's just make this a easy transition for you guys. Whatever we could do to help, we're gonna assist by all means. And I don't mind even coming out, put my hands, moving this person, that person, or whatever needs to be. I don't mind it at all.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service too, Ms. Ivory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the additional, what I wanted to say here is that we've been looking, now I wasn't at the workshop for the Mariah Fund. I didn't attend, I was at a doctor's appointment, didn't get back in time. And, but I did listen to it on the way here, so I heard all of the meeting. And looking for places where we could where this money could be used in in a great fashion, where it's best, to fund. And I hear, NEBLAC, and this is not the first time that I've, heard NEBLAC ask the community to come. And I just believe that, NEBLAC is a great place to place a portion of the funds of the Mariah Fund. What better place to use portion of this fund as NEBLAC Elementary School? Our school in our city, and again, I said, the same children who had to face these tragedies attends this school, they're bused to this school. So if we can be a sunshine, if we can be the sunshine to them and do it now, what better time to do it than February, Black History Month, I have to say that. And salute Miss Minnie J, is that right? Minnie J. Nablack, highlight her for Black History Month. I'm gonna ask that, ask the council and pray that the city feels the same, that we fund Nablack Elementary School $30,000. What money they do not use this time, before this move, when they come back, this money can be used there. Now, I wanna ask, if this is granted, I wanna ask the finance clerk that, that we not ask for invoices or receipts, because they're being audited already, they are the school. So.
And that's the pleasure of the council, I don't see.
Okay, I didn't want it to be a,
I would agree with not getting an accounting.
we get an accounting, this is the school. I'm sure they will, but why should they be double? Why it should be a double task?
Because it's our money. We gotta report to our citizens of what we did with it.
We've had, Mayor, no disrespect, but we've had so much money leave out of here and we don't know what happened to it. We don't know. Never asked them to come back, they never volunteered to come back. And now we have a school, principals to come and stand, and we're gonna say, we gotta show a receipt. Help me make it make sense. And I'm not saying that they'll show receipts, I'm sure, but why should we put that on them when nobody else came through here and brought us a receipt back? When I came here, I asked the question, do we just give money away and never know what happens to it?
That's why we, at the beginning of this year, we said, from now on, anytime we give money, we want a budget and receipts. And so we can show everybody, so we wouldn't be doing what you're saying, went on in the past.
That'll be no problem, I'm sure. Principals,
Can I say it? Can I have a suggestion here?
Yeah.
How about we have our finance director get with, the school board finance director, cause that's who the check will be going to, and let them work it out for the accounting services. They pretty much do it the same way. I'm sure they could work something out.
Absolutely. I think that would be very.
I would like to make a motion that $5,000, be presented to NABLAC for this food truck event for the moving and from public assistance. And also, would it be in the same motion for the $30,000 from the Mariah Fund to NABLAC Elementary School?
I'm not sure about the five, you say public assistance, I'm not sure what county.
Yes, in public assistance, we have that $100,000 for undesignated, special events or programs.
Okay.
That's what she's referring to.
Okay.
A second.
Mayor,
Yes,
I'm down to speak on that item,
okay, come on.
but we already got a motion on the floor. Sir?
We ain't doing nothing.
All right, Mayor, so let's back up for a second, if you would, and entertain me for a second. Why is it when it comes to a certain demographics and a certain geographics, and as it relates to youth and kids, we have to go through this dog and pony show, and like when you hear kids, it should automatically be a yeah. All this that we're doing for NEBLAC and getting principals up here, that even shouldn't even be the case. As soon as you hear the word K come out your mouth about a kid, it should be a yes. It shouldn't even be all this. That's number one. And number two, I'm offended on using the Mariah speech to
draw the conclusion of using that money in such a way for NEBLAC. Now, I'm not against it, but I'm against how it was laid out and how it was framed, because everybody is doing it. Everybody is taking the Mariah name and saying, hey, I think this is best and this will honor her. How do you know this will honor her? And I'm not saying that this is not best suited for her. Yeah, she was a student, she was a kid, and I would not get in the way of opposing it, but I am disgusted as to the way it was presented. Mariah's name didn't have to come up. Nothing about her had to come up tonight. It could have it could have been done way differently, Mel. It's not that I don't support it, I support it 100%. I will fight for NEBLAC to the day I die, because my great auntie gave those 20 acres to the school system to build NEBLAC. So I will fight for NEBLAC till I die, and I support the move, but I don't support the way and the style in which it was done in. It's disgusting. But they do need the funding, and I do agree that it would be best suited for NEBLAC when you factor in all the variables. Thank you, Mayor.
And let me respond to that. That was because I said it.
You don't even
But
know what you're
listen, I did not say to honor Mariah. I did not say that. That was not my verbiage. I said to honor Minna J. Black, and this is Black History Month. That's what I said. Thank you.
We had a motion, a second. Okay, any further discussion by council? All right, Ms. Sykes, we call the roll.
Mayor, may I clarify the motion real quick? Ms. Young, was that for programs, the 30,000 for programs? Okay. So the motion to present $5,000 to NEBLAC for the food truck event from public assistance. The motion also provides to present $30,000 to NEBLAC for programs from the Mariah Fund. Is that correct, Ms. Young?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Young?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Witt?
Yes. Okay, moving to resolution, city council resolution number 2024-019. Mr. Ken, would you read that by title?
City Council Resolution number 2024-019, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, authorizing the Lake City Police Department to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Learning for Life, a foreign nonprofit corporation which operates and maintains the program known as Exploring Youth Protection Training.
Is there a motion as to city council resolution 2024-019?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make that resolution number 2024-019. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion, I'd like to thank the Explorers for being here tonight. Thank y'all for coming. You get to learn a little bit about government, how it should be, how it shouldn't be, and we thank y'all for coming.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to thank those explorers as well. I think y'all are taking a great leap of doing the things you guys are doing. Y'all keep up the good work and become better. I want some of you guys to come up here and take my place one day. You know, be the mayor, be the chief of police, just keep it going. I think you guys will be very, very good at it.
Okay. Anything else? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Witt?
Yes. Item 11, the city council resolution 2024-020. Mr. Ken, would you read that by title?
Yes, let me find that. Resolution number 2024-022, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, approving that certain supplemental agreement between the city and State of Florida Department of Transportation for additional small county outreach program, SCOP, grant funds in the amount of $126,871.92 for the design, construction, engineering, and inspection of Grandview Street from Faith Road to McFarland Avenue, making certain findings of fact in support of the city approving said supplemental agreement, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Okay. Mr. Kennedy, that was 22, is that the one you just read?
Yeah, we needed 20.
That's okay. this one.
We'll do this one first and then
Okay.
we'll back up there. Okay, is there a motion as City Council Resolution 2024-022?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve 2024-22 -022.
Second.
Been a motion and a second, any discussion by council? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, we're back up to Resolution 2024-020.
I got this one now. City Council Resolution Number 2024-020, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, authorizing task assignment number 11 to the continuing contract with Matar and Associates, Inc., a Florida corporation, providing for professional engineering services associated with project number 8904-12-1 and updating the city's spill prevention, control, and countermeasure plan to comply with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, FDEP, and Federal Environmental Protection Agency, FEPA, requirements, providing for a proposed cost of $6,500 and completed by the February 19th, 2024 deadline.
Okay, is there a motion of City Council Resolution 2024-020?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve resolution 2024-020.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion on this? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, 13 is just informational purposes, invoices from, Robinson, Kenny and Kendron. Item 14 is discussion of possible action approval of funding to purchase a large order of Cordano meters. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mayor, you see the information in your packet. This is just to make a large purchase of Cordell meters. We have an issue right now with our current meters are going dead, and with the lead time being so long on the meters, it's best that we go ahead and start the switch out on this, and we did not budget for this amount of meters, but they are needed, and it's gonna take a while for them to get in, so we're just asking the council to grant us permission to move some money around to make this purchase.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make that motion to grant, the acting city manager and, the finance director to have these funds.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, and further discussion, and talk to Mr. Johnson about this, and we're having trouble getting them, and also it's a good purchase, and plus price probably won't go down. Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes. Okay, comments of council.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Mr. Johnson, and I see Ms. Williams is in the building, in the room. What's the status on, Gwen Lake, on the grant? Did you get us,
We actually just had a meeting the other day about that, me and Ms. Williams and staff. We did get that request for additional information, pretty quick after the last, project updates. Ms. Williams, as quick as she is, has already got all the answered and sent back in, so hopefully we hear something back real soon.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been a motion and a second. All in favor?